All right, folks. Welcome back to the crisis report. We're not going to be long-winded on here. Trying to keep them to about 15 minutes. But Robert Ward, good to see you, bud. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Are you ready for the doom stream? The doom stream. Yes, we're going to be talking about all kind. Oh, you're a member over here too. You're too kind to me, Robert. Uh, So we got a lot of stuff going on tonight. We're going to be talking. It's called Files and Fire because, well, all over the world there's fires going on from all the war, but also there's a lot of fire from the files, and that's the old did not unalive himself person. So yeah, I am in a good mood, Scrappy. Things are going pretty good. I'm busy AF, but I'm in a pretty good mood, all things considered. So I'm also really like sleep deprived right now, so I think I'm kind of giddy, to be honest with you. So on that note, I'm not going to be taking a long time on this one. I'm going to just plow right through it. Friends, if you are looking for gold and silver IRA, I got a company for you. They're called Augusta Precious Metals. They have partnered with the channel. All you got to do is go to the link. You'll see a Learn with PrepperNow type thing in the partnership area. Click on that. You go there. You set up a time. You talk to them for a little bit. And then you're like, hey, I like that. Let's do it. Or you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to hold pat. So up to you. But we like to give the option. And we work with them because they are a good company. All right. Yep. You have a family with 4 kids. You understand the struggle. Yeah, I got 3 kids, bud. Not you. 4. That's a that's a bowling team right there. So good. All right, friends. Let's get started on this crisis report for September 3rd, 2025. Here we go. Trump has announced that he is seriously considering revoking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. Israeli government is officially arrested in, the Israeli government official, got it, arrested in Las Vegas from a predator sting operation, made his first virtual court appearance after fleeing to Israel over an attempted really terrible things with a kid. AI startup Flock plans to combat crime across the United States by using all 80,000 cameras, drones, real-time surveillance. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to live into a surveillance-based hellscape like they had in the movie They Live. There's a concern that senior officials of Palestinian organizations may be targeted during their visits to Egypt as part of the mediation process with senior Egyptian intelligence officials. Egypt has warned against any attack on Palestinian Islamic Jihad leader Ziad al-Nakhlala, who is based almost permanently in Cairo. Fifth Republic, established by Charles de Gaulle, is looking increasingly ungovernable. French politics are so paralyzed that the resignation of President Emmanuel Macron, idea once only whispered in the corridors of power, is now being openly debated. While Macron's departure would be an earthquake on the European diplomatic stage, there's increasingly doubt it would fix the gridlock stalling Fifth Republic. France's problems appear to be deeper. Been there, it's true. Macron is already scouting around for his 5th prime minister in less than 2 years. Expectation that Francois Bayrou will be ousted on Monday over his unpopular measures to slash the country's eye-watering budget deficit. Would a new prime minister nominee from Macron be able to force through the billions of euros in budget tightening that the country needs to avoid a debt crisis, and would snap election create a workable majority? Neither outcome seems likely, and even if Macron were to resign, his successor would almost certainly face the same obstacles. Legislature's deadlocked, budget talks are flatlining, murmurs of social unrest are growing. Financial markets are jumpy. Bayrou himself was warning that Paris faces a Greek-style scenario unless it reins in spending. I'm not going to keep going on. This, of course, is on the crisis report, but this is a big major problem because if France catches a cold, well, then the world's going to get sick. As it says here, the discomfort is real. Now, I was only in France for like a few days after traveling on to other countries, but I can tell you within 24 hours, I saw a burning car. I've been to New York many times, used to live there, and you usually don't see burning cars in New York. You do in France. Surveys show a new legislative election in the coming weeks would most likely yield another hung parliament, few more seats for Marine Le Pen's far-right national rally. So they're basically doing everything they can to stop her from taking power. It's almost like they don't want the will of the people. At least 15 people were killed after Lisbon's iconic Gloria Funicular derailed. 3 people were killed in the derailment. At least 20 others were injured. Conditions range from minor to serious. Significant voltage drop was recorded in Greater Caracas, other regions of Venezuela. U.S. Secretary of Defense orders the USS Lake Erie, a guided missile cruiser, and the 2 in the Iwo Jima ARG 22nd MEU be deployed at Southcom to combat narco-terrorism. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned that his country could once again strike vessels allegedly used for drug trafficking across the Caribbean. The president has declared those organizations Tren de Aragua y Cartel de los Soles and all others as narco-terrorist groups designated under U.S. law operating in international waters aiming to bring drugs to the streets of the U.S., and the president used force and power to prevent and protect the U.S. and boat was blown to smithereens, and it can happen again. It could be happening right now, tomorrow, few weeks, Rubio stated. Major things going on down there in Southcom, folks. Earlier yesterday, B-2 bombers departed Whiteman Air Force Base, heading east, flying over the Atlantic. United States Marines and sailors, the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, part of the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group, which consists of the USS Iwo Jima, Fort Lauderdale, San Antonio, all have begun amphibious landing exercises in southern Puerto Rico, 500 miles from Venezuela. 22nd MEU, the Naval Task Force deployed by the U.S. Navy of the Southcom, South Caribbean Sea, to combat narco-terrorism emanating from Latin America. First kinetic strike yesterday linked to Tren de Aragua, Cartel de los Soles. It's getting real. Let's see how we're doing. Good to see you guys. Oh, what we got up here? Oh, Ark, thanks for gifting those, bud. Thank you, Ark. You're too kind, dude. Seriously, really cool of you. Oh, man. Ark is so nice. Seriously, man. Ark, can I say this out loud? And you know, this is like no moho. I love you, bud. I really do. I still feel bad I haven't gotten back to you over your thing that you text me about the AI thing. I have been so busy. I would like to have a conversation with you at some point in the future. Like not so distant. Anyway, I digress. I love you, bud. Trump greets Polish President Naraki, White House. Fighter jets fly over. Trump reiterates that Epstein is a Democrat hoax that never ends. Should talk about the greatness of our country and the success we're having instead. UAE warns Trump that any Israeli annexation of the occupied West Bank could harm the Abraham Accords and undermine hopes of expanding them. According to Hamas's statement, their conditions for a comprehensive deal in which all hostages will be released is 1, release the Palestinian prisoners, 2, end the war, 3, withdraw the IDF from forces from the Gaza Strip, all of it, opening crossings to allow the entry of goods, beginning of reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. They added the statement that reiterates its agreement to establish an independent technocratic government to manage the Gaza Strip in all areas. And why would you want to have anything that's slightly Republican or Democratic? It is not hard to notice that the conditions Hamas agrees do not meet Israel's conditions for ending the war, which are disarmament, demilitarization, and security control. In other words, Hamas in practice has always agreed to a comprehensive deal on its own terms. Of course, there is no real change in position here. So, yeah. It does seem that Hamas has changed anything in its conditions. Rather, the organization mainly repeats the list of conditions it has been talking about for over a year. In other words, I would suggest not getting too excited about Hamas's statement. It looks like spin intended to apply internal pressure on the Israeli public and prevent the operation to conquer Gaza City. IDF, short while ago, IDF struck Hezbollah sites in Ansariya area of southern Lebanon, stored engineering vehicles intended to rebuild the organization's capabilities and support its activity. In addition, IDF struck Hezbollah rocket launchers in the area of Al-Jabain. Presence of the engineering vehicles and the launcher that were struck constitute a violation of the understandings between Israel and Lebanon. Minister Katz says Hamas continues to delude and utter empty words, but soon it will understand that it must choose between two options: accepting Israel's conditions to end the war, primarily the release of the hostages and disarmament, or Gaza will become like Rafah and Bet Hanun. IDF is preparing for full force. Prime Minister's office said that unfortunately this is another Hamas spin, nothing new. War can end if they will 1. Release all the hostages, 2. Disarmament of Hamas, 3. Demilitarization of Gaza, 4. Israeli security control over Gaza, 5. Establish the alternative civilian government that does not educate for terror, does not send terror, and does not threaten Israel. Only these conditions will prevent Hamas from rearming and repeating 10/7/23 massacre again. French hospitals were told to prepare for war in Europe by next year in a leaked government letter. It is real. Country's health ministry has instructed hospitals to prepare for a major military engagement by March 2026. You know who the ultimate preppers are, folks? They're governments. If they're saying this right here, they mean it. Lunar eclipse or a blood moon will occur on September 7th. Lunar eclipse will be visible in many countries, especially across Asia, including Iran, Western Australia. It will also be visible in parts of Europe, Africa, and Eastern Australia and New Zealand. President Trump says, I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision. We'll either be happy about it or unhappy, and if we're unhappy about it, well, you'll see things happen. Florida will end jab requirements to attend schools, making it the first state to do so. State Surgeon General said every jibbity mandate drips with disdain and slavery. Okay. Zelensky says no signs Russia wants to end the war. We know that. Man with a weapon reported at University of Massachusetts Lowell campus. Here is the video circulating online. Well, I don't have that, but I saw it. The guy just strolling up, straight up. Long rifle of some sort. Don't know what it is from the video. It's at a little bit of a distance. But yeah, he just walked right on there. U.S. and Norwegian naval forces conducted joint patrol in the Barents Sea. Arctic operation comes as part of a large exercise in the Norwegian and North Seas involving the USS Gerald R. Ford nuclear aircraft carrier and carrier group. NATO forces also conducted extensive aerial searches for the 3 Russian Yasen-class attack submarines, which were reported to be operating off the area of Lofoten. Confidential UN report seen by AP reveals that Iran had rapidly expanded its stockpile of highly enriched uranium in the weeks before Israeli strikes. Total stockpile of HEU growing by 8% from May to June. And right now, at this very moment, I can personally confirm at least one United States Air Force B-2 strategic bomber, nuclear, operating at the very eastern end of the Norwegian airspace, something which we have never seen since the start of the Russo-Ukraine war. B-2 bomber is on a coordinated deterrent mission with the U.S. Navy and NATO, a very trusted has just told me. So that's Aquila. If he heard it, it's more than likely true. He's military. Israeli jets are currently carrying out airstrikes in southern Lebanon because it's, now Thursday. Why not? And Representative Nancy Mace is demanding the arrest of Prince Andrew over his ties to the files. Files and fires, friends. That's what we're calling this one. And that's what's going on right now. New crisis report for September 3rd, 2025. We hope you hit the like button. We hope you've subscribed. We hope you share. Check us out. Gab, Minds, Truth, Twitter, X, Substack. We get a transcript of this. Subscribe, Star, and Locals. Maybe you'll become a member here. Plenty of places to support the cause. But we appreciate you being here. Late. Friends, keep doing the things. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. Check out their link if you want to go get an informative from them. Check out OUPES if you want a nice solar generator. They're running deals. I heard 52% off. But I'm just glad you're here, okay? So keep coming back for more. God bless, and we will see you on the next one.